Are you ready?
Seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts
right here, right
This
now.
is a message to all the haters out there. If you don't like what I do, but you watch everything I'm doing, you're still a fan.
Once again, back is the incredible. Ninja Delta.
The battle TJ on two turntables.
What's going on, everybody? This is your main man, Ox Smooth Baron, and you're tuned in to Hog HQ. Woo! Pigs, wee! Go Hogs!
We are Mizzou, we are Mizzou. So who you?
Oh, shoot.
I don't know what happened there. Hey,
There we go. All right, guys. So, welcome back to another episode of Hog HQ Live, brought to you by the Hog Talk Podcast. Now, as we get started today, this gentleman here, this is Adam, and this gentleman here, this is Hart. He is back, and as always, y'all know the motto: tell a friend and tell a friend that we're back again with another episode. We're at episode 60, guys. It's been a while. All of us together. Episode 60. We came a long way in this journey, man. So, like I said, shout out to DJ Adam for the intro. I was waiting. I knew it was a mashup somewhere, and then you dropped the Usher. Yeah, and I like that. I like what you did there, sir.
I had a couple of them. I figured since we went Kendrick last week, I wouldn't go Kendrick this week.
Yeah, but you got Kendrick on the thumbnail.
You know, it worked.
It worked.
It originally said "Say Mizzou," and I was just like, "Wait a minute, their coach's name is Gates," so it worked out to rhymed with
Gates. Yeah.
Drake. Yeah,
There you go. Before we get into the show this evening, and I'm gonna get to you, transplanted Texan. I'm gonna get to you in a second. Keep the comment right there. In the intro, we got Isaac Smooth Baron giving us we didn't even say the other week that Isaac was on Jimmy Kimmel.
yeah, we did.
We did. I missed it.
Because I said that if it was one of those, if I could get a clip that we'd post it afterwards and whatnot. But the only one that I ever found out there was the one that he posted, I believe, or his
Yeah, he
wife
posted
or
on his
whoever,
page.
somebody in his family had posted.
Right.
I think his wife did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping to actually get the actual clip from Jimmy Kimmel's show, but I could never get it. Because you know how like Hulu and all them like to if you hit screen record, they shut your stuff off. So
Right. So for the people who looking at us like, what are we talking about? So Isaac was on the show. What's the name of the show again? You was watching it before the show?
Your Honor.
That's what it is.
yeah,
And,
he's been on a handful, but he was an extra on Your Honor that was I've gone blank on the main actor's name. That was Malcolm in the Middle dad. That was Walter White on Bryan Cranston.
Gotcha.
On so his show, it's on Netflix. It was originally on Showtime, I think. Shot in New Orleans, but yeah, I was just watching through, and it was like episode 10 of one of the seasons, and I look up and there's the jury and there's Isaac, and I had to do a double take.
Right. So that's what we're talking about if you guys don't know. But back into the show. Transplant Text, and I see you in the building. They are Mizzou. Who lost to who? The HOGS Woo Pig. Absolutely. Now that was interesting, that little clip that you put together right there. It'd be amazing if Sam Pittman could actually do that.
You know, it was originally for posting in hopes of Arkansas beating Mizzou, but that's happened like once in the past 100 years.
Yeah. But I digress. We're not gonna get on football just yet. We're gonna jump straight into your menu this evening. So episode 60, once again, we're gonna jump straight into baseball. As we know, Dave Van Horn, the boys went down to Arlington and had a handful of games facing KSU, Kansas State. They also played TCU and they also played Michigan. So it was a nice little observation, right? Just to see what this team could look like. And as I stated last week, I didn't do it, guys. Did I tell you about the injury bug? It happens every year. And if we know, the pitcher went out with a slight injury to his shoulder. So hopefully, David Horn said they have an MRI on it, and hopefully things look well. He'll be ready to get back in the roster for the long run, which is the plan. I am going to hold judgment for this team because at the end of the day, this is a marathon, not a sprint, and we are looking forward to getting to Omaha and actually competing and not losing regionals at home. So with all that being said, I'm just going to hold off and enjoy every game that I watch, win, lose, or draw, and take some observations and go from there. Hart, you checked out some of the baseball games. Can you give us your take on what you saw, the maturation of the matchups between K-State losing, us losing to K-State, us winning the TCU, and then putting all the bats together against Michigan?
Well, I'd say the pitching has held up its end of the bargain for the most part. Now, today we did throw 8 pitchers, and it started with Cook going out with a shoulder injury, and he had all 6 outs were strikeouts, if I recall. Going back to Kansas State game, it sucked because we had trailed, and then we got the Aloy brothers to hit 2 solo homers and tie the game, and then as soon as that happens, we turn around, go to the bottom of the inning, and they get to run right back and get the lead, and we just could never overcome it. But we didn't get any timely hitting for the most part. We didn't take advantage of it. We got thrown out stealing a couple of times, if I recall. But when we go into TCU, kind of the same thing happened. You have Kahil Aloy getting the double that got us the 2-1 victory. That was big. And then today you have Vahiva hitting another homer. It just seems like which Aloy brothers want to step up this weekend. But pitching has really held up its end of the bargain, except for today. They left a little out there, but for the most part, it's been pitching.
Yeah. Adam, what you got in your perspective of what you got to see in the 3 games?
I mean, I always like these games because we get to see, just quick 1-game matchups with a few different teams, and it's not, a 3 or 4 game series with the same team day in and day out. So it gives you a different perspective of teams each day, which I like seeing. It's one of those that, losing game 1, is what it is. I'm not going to hang my hat on it. I don't. It doesn't. It's a long season. We knew they were going to lose one eventually, so it's just a matter of when it was going to happen and how do you bounce back from it. And they bounced back from it. So going into today, it was just kind of Michigan's having a hard time against Arkansas this year. Or this past calendar year, we have basketball, now we got baseball. So it's one of those that Arkansas fans always travel well to Arlington, to Dallas area. So they represented. Flow Sports still sucks.
Absolutely.
I don't know when this is going to end. From stuff I was reading over the weekend on Flow Sports, it seems like that they are diving into some of the smaller colleges that may not have media deals. So I can see that working out because schools are getting like 100% of their revenue from the games. So by all means, if y'all need to go help out the small schools, go for it. But a series like this, when you have the upper half of teams across college baseball, put it on ESPN.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't hurt you. I'd rather watch this on ESPN Plus or whatever than deal with Flow Sports Plus. All the random fans, anybody got a link?
Where can I watch
it? Where can I watch it? And it's just, which I don't mind those questions, but then at the same time, when I've already put it in the comments of a post, it's kind of not going to keep repeating it. But, crazy stat that was put out today after, so after a single in the seventh, the Alloy brothers have identical stats. They're both hitting .417 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. So not only, back-to-back home runs and, which we were just waiting to see, now they have identical hitting stats. So, it's just little things that are interesting, but they're not going to be playing out of Bomb Walker until I think mid-March. They're going to have all, the ho-hum series coming up and little one-offs here and there, but they've got time before they got to get tuned up to go to Oxford in mid-March to start the SEC play. So, it's one of those, if you have a hard time getting to Fayetteville during conference season, now's the time to do it between now and then. So,
hey, Ty got something for you.
Congrats. I am truly proud of you, and I hope you can pass that on to others.
Yeah. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah, tell a friend, tell a friend.
Give them your wisdom.
So looking back at the matchup, one of the things that was interesting to me, K-State, and I looked at it, these are some good teams that could be in the postseason that you may see again. So that's a good thing. TCU always has a nice little squad in regards to baseball. But this is what I saw. So the K-State game, I think it was one of those, it was a gut check situation to see, hey, what you think you have in practice, how can that translate when it comes to playing on the road and playing someone other than yourself in practice? The TCU game was the most realistic game that I could see for the season. A 2-1 game against a good opponent, an opponent to where if a couple errors would have went the other direction, this game could have absolutely went the opposite direction. The Michigan game for me is when the bats came alive, which I was glad to see. At the end of the day, between three games, the one thing that I'm going to continue to say, as I said last year, you get too many guys stranded on base. There's too many guys stranded on base, still trying to get home. So at some point, they have to figure out that recipe and what it looks like throughout the season. And of course, it's going to come with chemistry. That's going to come with matchups. That's also going to come with pitching. And hopefully nobody wants to fire the batting coach already. But we know how that goes. So it is what it is. I don't send it to me without me asking. That's a real fan right there.
I do what I can sometimes.
Yeah. I want the grapes for Kansas State. It's one game. Yeah, absolutely. So you can't get too upset about it. But like I said, we know how this goes. At the end of the day, when it comes to baseball, we are hanging our hat on one of these teams that bring in some revenue in order to be a winner. The football team, we had high hopes throughout the season. Pine Bluff, lose Tennessee game, and you just keep looking for something to hang your hat on, and it was what it was, and we got to a bowl game. We went to a bowl game. We won a bowl game, so that was great. In basketball, everybody expected us to come out, Coach Kyle, and go undefeated, and that didn't happen. And then we went on a spree of losing, and now we are bouncing back, which we will get to some basketball and talk about that in more in depth. But it was what it was, and now baseball season is starting, so this is going to be interesting to see exactly how Dave Van Horn and the boys put it all together, and what pieces that we haven't talked about or mentioned names wise, who will come alive and be a household name. So you just never know what it looks like with a full roster like that. We just hope that Dave Van Horn keeps these boys going, and the health bug is in the building, so these guys can keep going. Ty says the Michigan game bats became aggressive. Absolutely. We definitely need that. If we can get a combination of the pitching that we saw as well as the bats, it's going to be hard to beat us. It's going to be hard to beat us. And do we have the tenacity to do it for an extended period of time? Because that's what it really matters. So we've seen that in basketball. We talked about Coach Musk's squad, former coach, and coming alive at the right time, playing great ball at the right time at the end of January, going into February, and prepping for March for the tournament. Same thing when it comes to baseball. So if we can have some great games and then have some games we're not supposed to lose, and then put those together in the long run when it's time to count, then that's what really matters. Before we continue the show,
we forgot to pay the first sponsor.
Let's go ahead and pay them bills then.
Well, let me take that off there right quick.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA, to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline. The game starts here.
BetOnline for the sponsorship. Hart, let me have you take this comment real quick. Throw it back on the screen for me.
What we got?
Where are you at?
Yeah, talked about getting us early runs to secure a win. Who would have had? We're going out multiple pitch struggles and a little just short of a hitting cycle.
Yeah, and Lloyd had a couple of good double plays, honestly, that wasn't talked about earlier. Our defense definitely stepped up this game, and the one time I did tune in on the first game, we had an error, I believe it was, with the second baseman, which sucks. It made me want to turn the game right back off because we ended up losing. But the defense has held up, pitching's held up, and Aloy he's probably our best player on the team right now, I would say. But Iredale is somebody I got my eye on. I want to keep an eye on.
Okay.
He's doing big things, especially with his bat.
Yeah. He's doing big things with his bat. All right. Mr. Green, just a PSA to everyone throwing a fit about us losing to Kansas State. A&M lost today to Cal Poly. Hey, man, baseball is everywhere. I mean, if you talk about...
Didn't we lose to like Arkansas State or UAPB or somebody, UCA or something within the last few years?
I thought it was UCA, wasn't it?
I believe we did lose to UCA.
Yeah. I mean, these little ho-hum early season, midweek matchups aren't shit. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, just take it as a learning tool at the end of the day. So when you go up against a bigger, a better opponent, especially in conference play, then you know exactly what you need to do as far as improvements. Miss Teresa, shout out to Miss Teresa. How you doing? 35 miles from Little Rock. Saw great games. Saw promise. Some nasty habits coming out. Miss Teresa, elaborate on that. Some nasty habits coming out. Like, let us know exactly, because I know you be really watching, so I know you know what you're talking about. But can you elaborate on that for me, real? Please, please, please.
I know that you know that I know.
Yeah, that part. All right. Waiting on Miss Teresa. Ty says, for the shortstop. Yeah, Lord. He's had more at bats, by the way. I'm in no way spelling their first name. Hey, it's okay. It is okay, Ty. We know exactly who you're talking about.
Hey, don't want to spell them, don't want to try to pronounce. Just like I've still got until next football season to learn
Madden's last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about
Yeah.
the young lady I was talking about earlier on the basketball team?
That one's Izzy Higginbottom. Higginbottom. You've never heard that last name before?
Why would I have heard that last name before?
Because it's not like it's. I'm not saying it's common, but it's not unheard of. You know what? Here's a fun fact. You want to know who else's last name is Higginbottom?
Yours?
No, Shawn Michaels, the wrestler in WWE that was in DX. His real name is Michael Higginbottom. There's your fact for the day. Exactly. There's your fun fact for the day.
That's what's up.
The more you know.
Yeah, why ask Siri when you can ask Adam? You just never know what's gonna come out of his mouth, man. All right. Before we continue and move on throughout the show, before we get to basketball, we do have to pay some additional bills as my man sips an A&W root beer.
Yeah, you know, let me find that one too.
Let's take a quick timeout and talk about something just as important as Arkansas basketball. Your home. Our friends over at Premium Supply are like the MVPs of home improvement. They've got everything you need to make your house a slam dunk. We're talking siding, soffit, columns, windows, doors, vents, decking, the whole playbook. Whether you're building from the ground up or just doing a little home court maintenance, they've got you covered. And with locations in Conway, North Little Rock, Russellville, and Jonesboro, there's always a Premium Supply close enough for a fast break. So, if you're looking for premium products with premium customer service, make your next shot count and visit us on Facebook or at www.premiumsidingsupply.com. Premium Supply, where we treat each of our customers like one of the family.
To Premium Supply for being a sponsor here on Hog HQ Live. Once again, as I stated last show, as the seasons get ready to change, and I don't know what the weather looks like where you are. Apparently, it was snowing up there last week where you guys were. It was like some slight hail in Little Rock.
Now we're about to be into spring 2.0.
Yeah, it's fake spring in Atlanta. When I tell you, other morning we got up and went to work, it was 19 degrees. I was like, but why? And the wind was so disrespectful. With all that being said, reach out to Premium Supply for your home improvement needs as you get ready to go into the next season. Knowing that you want to make some improvements around your home, whether you're building some deck or some fencing, things of that nature, please reach out to Premium Supply and have them come out and do an estimate for your home improvement needs. As I speak on Premium Supply, also remember, if you guys have a small business or a large business and you'd like your information to be put up on our show as a sponsor, please reach out to either one of us to get the proper information to let you know how it goes. You'll be amazed at the reach that this show does get out to, the amount of people that actually see this show via all the platforms that we're on. So if you want to get your business out there, you want to get some promo, please reach out to each one of us so we can get you on board and then have you a part of the show as a sponsor. I do want to get to this real quick. Let me get that. Spell our pitcher's name. Butter cheese, spell pronounced.
Vital cheese.
Vital cheese is, I think, how it's spelled or how it's pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
Let me guess. That's normal too. What
No,
WWE
that's
wrestler?
not.
I thought a WWE wrestler was named Vital Cheese.
Vital cheese? No.
Vital Cheese.
I mean, we can. I'm trying to find him on. I don't know what. Oh, BEIDELSCHIES.
I think I pronounced it vital choice. That's what I thought it was.
You know what? I'm not going to shout out to Otis Kirk. I'm not going to do the Otis Kirk when he talk about these recruits and their names. He be butchering them damn names. He be butchering them damn names and doing the recruiting. I'm not going to do it. But either way it go, we know exactly what you're talking about. As we get ready to transition into basketball, before we get into the roundup, I want to have a discussion. We know that this week was a nice little week for the Razorbacks and them bouncing back and showing some momentum. We also know that the former Final Four team was in the building to support the guys and uplift them and give them some great energy. We talked about this off screen in the tech group, and my question to you all was, does Ty Day need to have his jersey retired?
I think it deserves as much as basically as much as Corliss in a way. I know Corliss got us over the top, but of course, if you say without Todd, you got to go Sydney. But they have, in a way, made it somewhat of a number, kind of like we did at Pommel 5 with 19, with Bazo Shabazz and stuff. Kind of, you have a standout player or somebody that means something to the team. You give them that number. We've had Ronnie Brewer wear it, Bobby Portis wear it,
Gafford.
Gafford, yeah. So, and I think Jay Will wore it too. So it seems like mainly Arkansas guys, but it means something to basketball for sure. But I don't know if they really want to retire jerseys and numbers at Arkansas. I think that's why it hasn't happened.
But I think that's an open conversation that needs to be had at some point. I feel like I need a reasoning behind it. Like if you came out and told me as athletic director what exactly you just said, hey, it's a special number, we're gonna dedicate it to players from the state of Arkansas who mean a lot to the program, then I'm cool with that. But I feel like at some point it deserves an explanation. Not speaking on it is not going to work for me. So if you're not going to retire it the same way I feel about number 5 in football, it's too many people wearing number 5 in football, and it's damn near disrespectful and diabolical at this point. You need to retire that man's jersey, Darren McFadden, we speaking on. So I don't know what that is about Arkansas and why we don't want to discuss that, or at least bring it to fruition. I do like the fact that the 94 team, the Final Four team, was in the building. We spoke on that during football season about former players coming back and visiting the program and how much of it's an issue in football. Now you see what that brings to the people who came and packed out the stadium and came to the stadium and the arena and watched those guys play. You also feel like the motivation, the speaking that they had before in the locker room, maybe gave these guys some extra ammo to go out there and do what they need to do against Mizzou. So we need to have more former players back at the university and have them a part of the Razorback family. I feel like once you put the blood, sweat, and tears on the line in that jersey, it means a lot to the fan base as well as that particular person. I know Ty Day in particular said something about the retirement of jersey, said he would just want, his grandkids to be able to acknowledge that. That would mean that much to him in that regard. So I think it needs to be a conversation at some point. I don't know how we go about doing that or if we go about doing it. Maybe the athletic director will hear some of these comments from us and other people, and then at some point be able to have that conversation. So it is what it is. We at least got the slobbering hog back. So baby steps. Damn Arkansas just slow.
I'll die on this hill that the sweater hog is better than the slobbering hog.
You got to pull that up. The sweater. The standing on the A?
Yeah,
the one on the
that's dope. It's iconic. Absolutely.
That's I think I have tattooed on my calf. So
gotcha.
What's that look for?
I seen the tattoo. I mean, it's cool. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You want one too?
Wouldn't
have the same effect.
Wouldn't have the same effect. You know what?
Took you a second.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so the retirement of jerseys. It's one of those that if you're don't overdo it if you're going to do it. And by that, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like with the Professional Sports Hall of Fame these days. Too many people get in for bullshit.
Yeah.
So I just look at it like they need to be guys that were iconic at Arkansas, no matter the sport. At the very least, though, I'm about you're not going to retire them. Honor the numbers in a way like we've mentioned on here, we've mentioned in the text, we've mentioned beforehand on giving them to players that earn it. I think though you're going to get those me players that want to come into a school and like they don't want to change numbers.
Right.
They don't, especially if they start out with a jersey and then switch to another one if they're here long enough, depending on the sport, like they may not want to do that, which I get, but I don't know. It's one of those that I think you have to establish it somewhere. I mean, I feel like what LSU does with the number 1 and the receivers. I know a few years back or around 2014, like Michigan had a quarterback that wore some obscure number for a quarterback from like the 50s or 60s.
Right.
Who, fun fact, that quarterback way back when, his son is like been on all those NCIS shows. He's like the star of it. Harmon's his last name, I think.
Is Jerry Jones not retired?
Nobody's number's retired except for I think Brandon Burlsworth is the only number that is. And if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But we've talked about like number 10 in basketball: Ronnie Brewer, Daniel Gafford, Dalen Williams. 5 for Darren McFadden, Todd Day. I mean, there's a number of guys, because I'll tell you this: the people that have worn 5 after Darren McFadden, at least on the offensive side of the ball, because I'm not going to throw. I'm not going to throw
Rakeem Boyd.
Well,
Fuck it. Fuck it.
I'm not going to throw
on the team.
I'm not going to throw Cam Ball into this mix because he's on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because he wears 5, so he does not include you, sir. But yeah, everybody else, especially ones that quit on their team before the season's over with to go to a draft that they don't get drafted in. Yeah, you didn't deserve to wear number 5.
Yeah, to wear number 5 as a running back, damn offensive side as a running back, that it should definitely mean something to you. I do want to say this before we move strictly into the basketball conversation. We talk about retiring jerseys. Let me also throw this out here. Why does Nolan Richardson not have a statue?
That's a good question.
So they thought the court was enough, but no, he needs a statue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if what Herm would say, you play to win the game, and the ultimate prize is championships, which is why I will die on this hill. Arkansas is a track and field school.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk about championships, we're talking about track and field. I understand you grew up playing baseball and you was playing stickball in the backyard, or you played football. I get it. That's the sport you like, but this is not that school. We are a track and field school. We have multiple championships over years, centuries. So that's what we are in regards to winning championships. With all that being said, if you win one in a particular sport, basketball, you deserve that. I feel like you deserve that. And I'm not talking about the Dwayne Wade statue either. I'm talking about a real deal statue. Right. So, but that's that. We're gonna move on and get straight into basketball. Sir, can you go ahead and give us the SEC round so we can get into these scores from the week? All right, so SEC scores, as it's cut off on the top, these are the midweek games. There we go. Thank you, sir. Tuesday and Wednesday. So Arkansas and Auburn. So number 1 Auburn ends up getting a 7-point victory over Arkansas. Once again, Arkansas doing what they do, and I figured they would lose, but I also figured they would give their best effort against Auburn in that environment in the jungle. I think they did a great job as far as when it comes time to picking teams, as far as on the bubble teams and whatnot. I feel like they could help with their seeding in regard to how they played against the top team in the country. OU losing to Florida. Florida is sneaky good. I mean, it's right in your face, but it's sneaky good.
I mean, they're number 2, so
yeah. I mean, damn. Do you know anybody on Florida's team?
I know they have a 7'9" guy that's redshirting this season.
But that's what I'm saying. You can tell me one player from Auburn.
I can't even tell you their coach's name.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you ask me their coach's name, I'm going to say, well, it used to be Billy Donovan, but he's in the NBA now.
But that's what I'm saying. They sneaky good because I guess nobody's watching them, but they holding still at number 2 in the country and do what they do. And once again, OU is just not. I don't know who the athletic director at OU is, but boy, I know them boosters is calling and on your ass about this. Football and basketball, you got a problem on your hand. Alabama, Missouri, man, a lot of points in this particular game. Alabama got a nice little squad. I like their point guard, but Mizzou pulls out the victory. That's 110-98. Then you got A&M, Mississippi State. Mississippi State is sneaky good. Mississippi State reminds me of early in the year when we watch. No, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. When we watch USC Junior during football season, and we was looking like, wait a minute, they won again.
Yeah,
like it's kind of like that. Mississippi State has hung around that 20 to 25 era, and they have put it together in some good games. So they,
what's crazy too is they got the head coach that was in the rumor mill for Arkansas before Cal that absolutely nobody wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Chans, I think his name is.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know how it go. It's never the first guy. I don't know how many times I got to tell you all that. It's never the first guy. He wasn't even the first name, but you know how that go. Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Kentucky takes care of business, 82-61 over Vandy. And USC Junior loses to LSU. That's 81 LSU, 67 USC. Next, we will go to our weekend game, Saturday game. So UGA continues to lose. Number 1 Auburn continues to win, Florida, once again, they keep doing what they do, 79-65 over LSU. Kentucky and Alabama. Alabama bounces back, 96-83 over Kentucky. Shout out to the Big Blue Nation. Yeah. I just like to see y'all lose because y'all talk so much shit about Arkansas. I don't care. Number 6 and number 7.
Though,
What's happening?
There's a lot of their fans that are hoping that Arkansas creeps up to inside the top 40 or top 30 of the net and Ken Palm and all that stuff because it'll help their loss look better.
Right. It is what it is. Once again, number 6 versus number 7. That's Tennessee and A&M. Tennessee takes the win 77-69. Next, you got Mizzou and Arkansas. Arkansas did what they need to do. Took care of business at the house 92-85. Mississippi State and OU. OU finds a way to get it done on this one. 93-87 over Mississippi State. Now that's interesting. I don't know if Mississippi State watched OU the last couple games and was like, we're just gonna take the night off and be on the road, but they end up dropping that game. Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt got Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man,
Jerry Stackhouse there? No, he's not there anymore.
No, he had nice suits, but no, he's not there. Texas and USC Junior.
I almost didn't put the junior on this one, but
yeah, it was some respect on their name a little bit.
Their first SEC win.
Better them than us.
I'm glad they got that out of the way because I knew if we went into that game, like it would be our luck that Arkansas would lose to be their first win.
And not only that, they beat Texas. So it's always good when Texas loses.
Who's our next game?
Yeah. So it's always good when it comes to that. You got anything else on that before I get into these comments, sir?
No, I'm good.
Gotcha. We'll go ahead and get Transplant Texan. Said Nelly suited up and left Janelle at home. He had a good game on both ends. In post-game, Nelly indicated that both the 1990 player visit and the fan support in both last night was meaningful. Z concurred. Yeah, Z needs to concur after what he put on the board the last game.
And then he came back with 20.
There you go. And you just never know. And just know, I put Big Z on the app. And I gave some NIL money.
Oh, and the fans.
Yeah. Because this is the thing. After he showed out that last game, I was like, oh, Big Z gonna show out. He dropped the dud. Dropped the damn dud.
And just because you bring that up, so I think the latest mock draft that I saw was Thero was the only first rounder, and that was mid to late 20s to Orlando, and then Big Z and Boogie were second round. So, the thing with Boogie is the injury. I mean, he had a good season up until he got hurt. Well, he had a good season even though the team was struggling.
Right.
But he's going to be back from that injury right before NBA Combine time. So he's going to have to make the decision, like, do I need to come back for one more year, or am I just going to risk it, go to the Combine, and move on from there?
The thing about the NBA, it's a young man's game. So the younger you are, the more talented, skillful you are, the more likely you are to be drafted high to a sorry team. So he could easily do that based on his potential and what his ranking was in high school. As a Razorback fan, I would love to see him come back and play alongside Acuff. That would be, I think that would be really dope in year 2 for him.
And if we get, like, I was thinking about this the other day, because Cal does not spend time, especially at this point in the season, on players that he doesn't think that he's going to get. And so he has been visiting Nate Ament several times over the last few weeks. And he's another 5-star prospect that's not committed, signed anywhere. But if you add Ament to Acuff, Malik, Sealy, and then I'm just going to say, you're going to you could have a Big Z come back. You're going to keep 3 to 4 of the guys on this team, I think.
Correct.
And then you've got a coach from Coach Cal that knows he kind of whiffed on the portal a little bit and then on depth. He's going to go spend that money So I look at next year's roster overall being something that we haven't seen before at Arkansas.
Gotcha. I do want to get back into this comment that's on the screen about the retired jerseys. So that's Clyde Scott, Steve Little, and Brandon Burnsworth.
Clyde Smackover Scott.
Look at that. Somebody knows their Arkansas history. Ty, great comment. I feel what you're saying, Ty. Unfortunately, I feel they're waiting on Nolan to pass. It shouldn't have to come to that. You want some, the phrase "give someone their flowers while they're living." I definitely would like for him to get his just due in that regard. I do understand his name is on the court. I get it. But at the same time,
let's be clear. I feel like if and when the time comes that baseball gets one of theirs, they'll be quick to put one of DVH out there at the baseball field.
And why is that? Why is that, Adam? What do you think that is?
I don't know.
Gotcha. We'll digress together.
Yeah,
Mr. Teresa said John McDonald should have a statue. Absolutely. Absolutely. It just makes sense, and that should be one of the indoor is one of the premier places for events in the country. Us in Oregon for sure. So in Texas too. So yeah, definitely with that. So it's so many, like Mr. Reese just said, like it's so many things that we could be doing in the absence of things that we're not doing, aka competing for SEC championships in football. Like take some of that money that you get and spend it where it really matters to people who actually done the work. We keep spending money for coaches not to coach, and then get other coaches who haven't been head coaches. Meanwhile, the coach that got interviewed that never had head coaching experience has been to 2 different schools and has done well, and it's going to have 2 first-round players. Moving on, transplanted Texan Jeff Long was busy constructing buildings, not statues. Honey, your check is too busy containing the chaos of the athletic program. Neither present during the 40 minutes of hell era. No real connection. I can dig it. I can respect that comment.
Containing the chaos, I think, is a bit of a stretch.
What's your take on that?
Well, I don't think he's really containing anything because, I mean, it's been an overall shit show for the most part. Yeah, we've had, some highs with some of the other sports in this, but for us to go through like what we've been going through from the football team, I mean, we're hanging our hat on a post-COVID 2021 season still that we won 9 games. You've still been, bottom feeder in the SEC in football. It took John Tyson ponying up the money for Coach Cal to get a Hall of Fame coach after Musselman. And I'm not taking, what Musselman did here was fantastic. Musselman was what we needed at post Mike Anderson.
And I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I seen one of my guys, Robert Ray, made a comment on Facebook about he circled him in the crowd, saying that this guy should have got more credit in his time here. I'm not against it, but I am against the fact that Arkansas pussyfooted around and waited so long to bring Mike Anderson to Arkansas. It just seemed like the gap between when he was here with Nolan, you went through Pelfrey and the other
Stan
dude,
Heath.
and it just wasn't it. I'm just like, I don't know if they were trying to do a PR move or whatever it was, but it was a shit show. And it's
all
like,
I got to say is, Jeff Long, I blame you for us having to go through 40 minutes of Pell and that bullshit. But no, Mike Anderson, and that was the thing too, is like during that time, Mike Anderson was doing his thing at Mizzou.
Facts.
I mean, I think they got as high as top 5 ranking. I mean, did they peak during him? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, like, I felt like what he was doing there was like, it should have been a slap in the face to the Arkansas powers that be. You didn't hire me, so I'm going to go do it somewhere else.
Right. And meanwhile,
we've seen happen in other places too.
Many times.
All right. So we can all agree on that. Do got some more basketball comments. How will Cal spend the money in the portal? Big man or big men?
I think you're going to look at 1 to 2 big men. You're not going to deal and by all means, this is not a shot or a pry at the quote unquote practice players. This is not a shot at the guys who came in number 10 through number 15. I'm just calling them that because that's what Cal said. You know, when the guys that come in 10 through 15, like when they come in, they know what they're coming into practice. They can earn their keep, pay their dues, all that. I'm just going off of he had every intention to only bring in 8 to 9 players. That's what he did. I think he realized that he can't do that. And he was trying something different when he, come into Arkansas, fresh start, something new. He was going to try something new, didn't work. So no. So I think you're going to see he's going to go get 1 to 2 big men. You have to look at Kentucky teams that he's had. I mean, Julius Randle, Karl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, Sheboy, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Like you've got a number, like he's had bigs.
Athletic bigs.
Yeah. So I think he knows that he's got to go get 1 or 2 of those. And so I think we're going to see that. And then coupled with the 3 to 4 coming in and then whoever decides to stay, I think that he's going to go after a different player than he went and got this offseason.
Gotcha. Yeah. I spoke about a coach that we interviewed that we didn't hire anyone elsewhere, and he's being successful. Is Coach Prime Deion Sanders the equivalent to Calipari in basketball as far as the entertainment value?
Entertainment, yes, but at least Cal's won a national championship.
Yeah. I'm just talking about entertainment value.
Like if they were to do a legitimate, like I know when I say legitimate, this is no shot at. Like I love Vice's docuseries that they're doing with Patino and Cal, but I'm talking like if Netflix were to do a college head coaches docuseries, like they do the quarterback, they do the wide receiver, they do the starting 5 for basketball in the NBA. If they were to do a college football one or a college coaches one, you'd have to have Prime, you'd have to have Coach Cal. And then obviously Saban's not anymore, but you're going to go, like, you're probably going to try to get DeBoer at Bama, the guy that replaced, like, you're going to get these guys that have replaced big name coaches. You'll probably screw around and go think that you need to put Brian Kelly on, which was terrible. Maybe you can get Ryan Day so we can all see him for the weirdo that he is. I don't know. But
why you be hating on Ryan Day? I told y'all doing football season.
His beard painted on is worse than Carlos Boozer's hair that he had spray painted on.
That shit is bad. That shit is bad. But look, see,
and if y'all don't know, Google it.
Yeah, in the land of NIL, hey, Brian Day could be on a Just for Men box.
I mean,
hey man, the man won a championship. He lost to Michigan every year, the last 2 years. Shit, 3 years. 3 years?
I think it's 4.
Either way it go. He lose the rivalry game, which almost cost him his whole job, and then he ended up winning a national championship. So either way it go. Jingle Cart, shout out to my guy Jingle Cart. It was because Mike Anderson under Nolan after he was let go.
100%.
And the dot speaks volume. So I can read all between those lines, sir.
No ifs, ands, or buts. That's
hell no. Transplanted text. And I blame Jeff Long for the front and forward facing Hog. That book. Yeah. That whole era, it's just like,
and the fact that some of the stations still use it.
Yes.
It gets old.
Right. Oh, Mr. Reese says she out. All right, Mr. Reese, get you some rest. If Kyle gets bigs and Z stays, do you think he moves Z to the 4 position?
That's where he needs to be. He's a stretch 4. He's not a 5.
Yeah. He's not a center at all. Because
here's the thing too is I wanted Brazil. I thought Brazil could be that guy, and it's not happening. If you had told me last year or heading into this season that Big Z would have more fight in him than Trevin Brazil, I would have told you were a fool.
Yeah.
But Big Z does. Big Z attempt. I mean, he shoots, he puts the ball on the floor, but he actually like tries to do something. He doesn't let things just come to him and then I'm just going to stand over here until it does.
You can tell Brazil's mentality by how he fouls. pay attention to how he fouls. He'll just throw somebody every once in a while when he gets pissed off. He'll just throw him down.
Yeah, he has to contain his emotions. Let me get to Ty real quick. Ty, says the man with no facial hair. Hey, I understand. I understand it's genetics. I understand it's genetics. See this? The beard. Hey, ask any grown woman, do she like a man with some gray in his beard? That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But I can dig it, Ty. I can dig it. Let me get to this. Have you guys heard anything on the condition of Thero?
I haven't heard anything,
fine.
but
I
yeah,
haven't
I don't
heard
think
anything, but
it's
I don't think it's anything to worry about. Bobcat or whatever.
yeah.
I don't. I mean, the roster is so thin at this point. It's one of those that like I can't say that they're gonna like hold, try to hold them out because you really can't do that when you're only running with 8. So I think you may see some limited minutes against Texas depending on how that game goes, or if it's a game that you get ahead in, you can kind of dictate his minutes then. But I don't think that they're gonna like hold him back just because.
Here you go, Petty. Oh, I can grow. Just can't afford to just for men. Hey, the economy's in a bad state these days, ain't it? Yeah, I know, but I digress. Yeah, the economy. All right, look, anyhow, before we get ready to get up out of here, is it anything you guys want to throw out there? Is there anything we're missing? Is there anything we can look forward to with the upcoming week? I know the basketball season is coming to an end, regular season. What do you guys think Arkansas needs to continue to do in these next couple games they got before they go to SEC?
I mean, I feel like that you've won the games you needed to win. You've lost the games that you can afford to lose. You're right on the bubble. You're in the kind of last 4 in or first 4, whatever bubble of the Lenardis and everything. You can't afford to lose to a South Carolina. You can't afford to, especially get like blown out by any of these teams. I don't think any of them will be ranked as of tomorrow with the losses that they had this week. Mississippi State, I think, had one, and they were on the line. I could be wrong there that you could see them at a 15 or something, or a 25 or something. Yeah, I think you need to go 4-0. I think you need to get the 20 wins, go 4-0, just so you don't have to worry about having a strong showing in the SEC tournament.
Right.
That'll also put you at 500 in the conference. I think, honestly, free throws, rebounding, and driving, attacking the rim. That's what we got to continue to do. We missed a lot of free throws against Auburn, which kind of hurt us. Made a lot against Missouri. Big Z hitting 7 of 7. Thero, he started out like 1 for 4 and ended up 3 of 6, but he's been struggling a little bit at the free throw line. He needs to pick it up a little bit, like he was in the beginning of the year. But those are the main things I would say. Go 4-0, beat Texas. Was it Texas, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State?
Yes.
You should go 4-0, maybe 3-1, but I think you really should get 4-0, and you're in the tournament.
Gotcha. I think Thero's on everybody's scout report at this point. Big Z, when he can get hot and consistent from 3, I like what he brings. Billy Richmond, once again, I'm a Richmond fan every single week. His defensive prowess, his ability to run the floor on fast breaks and get the dunks. One thing that I have seen since the beginning of the season, the stretch when we continue to lose games, and I'm continuing to still see, even though we're getting some victories, you got to stop 3-ball. You got to stop the 3-ball. You got to make layups and you got to make free throws. It's really simple. Like everything else you're doing is pretty status quo to keep you in the game. But missing close free throws, missing layups, and stopping the 3-ball. Like it's somehow, even if you got to do, I don't know if I go watch the old Kobe tape when he played against Pau Gasol. He said he's gonna run through his chest. Just get in there and run through somebody's damn chest. Just let them know we're not playing it, whether it's coming through a screen or whatever. If you're gonna continue to go under screens and let this guy catch the ball, catch and shoot right in your face, we're gonna continue to have these segments where you get down. I'm gonna have to watch it on the replay. I don't know what I said. I have no idea what I said. Either way it go, Mr. Phone a friend will catch it and hit you with the button. Either way,
I'll have you the video shortly.
But yeah, I would like to see them stop the three ball, deter the three ball, play better defense on the perimeter, get those layups and ones. I would like to see a lot of the taller guys, the bigs, be able to be more physical and be able to go to the line and then make the free throws. That's going to help you go a little bit stronger and get some intensity and more chemistry building going into the SEC tournament. Wait a minute. Playing Texas and coming off a win should get fans to Bud. Hogs need the support at home to win out.
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody brought up the conversation about the attendance, so we'll jump in that. Let you guys leave it there. Is everyone's favorite? Okay, gotcha. No doubt about it. I ain't the only one. All right, the attendance at the game. Somebody posted something about the number of Missouri fans that were in attendance versus the Arkansas fans, and maybe that was early in shoot around.
I mean, I think it was early shoot arounds. I think the way I took that tweet was more like the fact that many Missouri fans got tickets.
Gotcha.
You know, I don't think it was necessarily like a more than the other. It was just the fact that there were that many people in black and gold. So it unfortunately, it's one of those things, especially when your fan base is struggling to latch on to the team. So, you know, they're putting their tickets out on third-party sites.
Gotcha.
But I wholeheartedly agree with what Alabama did for the football. And if you're one of these people who buy season tickets and then sell them immediately, when these schools start doing what Alabama did for football and start revoking your season tickets because they can track which ones go like onto StubHub and all these third-party sites, when they revoke your tickets because they know you do that, don't get mad. I mean, it's I applaud Alabama for doing it.
Gotcha. I don't know if we have the balls. Our athletic director
I mean, we had the balls to come up and say, hey, you're going to pay $40,000 or you're not going to get your tickets. So
yeah. The athletic director told the whole state, if everybody contributes $100 a month, then we can be like Ole Miss. It's like, okay.
You'd open up a legitimate 50-50 raffle through Bet Saracen and help out a lot too.
I would.
Nobody wants
I'm going to laugh when, you know, Mississippi, the state of Mississippi is like one of the first ones to do this, and it's Ole Miss and Mississippi State running the show, and we're just sitting back watching.
You got Biloxi, you got casinos down there, so it just makes sense to me. Get the last comment. I heard conflicting information on the environment, more complaints about music, and the game's dampening the mood, especially at the end when Mizzou was trying to win, make a comeback.
I think there's always been an issue with some of the. And when I say this, I don't necessarily mean like the boomer fans. I just, the older folks, the older fans, they don't like the DJs. The fans that have been around for years, like they liked the Hog Wild band. They want the band up there playing. They don't want the DJ. They don't like the DJ stuff and the music. I think there's a place for both of them. And I think that Arkansas needs to find a happy medium between the two.
They need to find a way to get rid of Hey Jude. I'm so tired of hearing that when we're getting our ass beat by 28 in the fourth quarter. I really am. It's got to go.
Shout out to DJ Derek, representing Texarkana. Hey, shout out to DJ D. If you know, you know. All right, before we get ready to get up out of here, guys, last round robin. Any last comments you guys want to drop on the folks? And if you're watching at this particular point, please go ahead and hit the like comment, the heart comment, and show your support. We thank you guys for watching us. Last little comments for the evening before we let the good people go.
Oh, me? No, I'm good.
All right.
Appreciate everybody watching.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, guys, we're gonna. No, you're not. No, you're not. All right, so guys, we definitely appreciate you guys for checking us out every single week. Continue to support Hog HQ Live. We're on all the formats. If you look in the top left of your screen, any of those formats that you want to check out. If you watch this on the replays, please just type replay in the comments. It helps with the algorithm. We're going to make sure that we keep reaching out and gaining more people to gain interest with this. Behind the scenes, we have talked about some things that we want to do going into football season to grow this particular platform. Looking forward to doing some of those things, which include being on the hill and doing a live show at an establishment on campus, et cetera, et cetera. I would love to get on campus and interview some people. This is something that I enjoy doing. So, with all that being said, we just appreciate you guys' support every single week and everything that you bring to it. The comment section has been great. And once again, we appreciate you. There's the outro music. It's time to slide. We'll holler at y'all, man. Y'all have a great week.